On to our big question. What cycling trends do we hope to see in 2024? Go. You first.
I want cycling industry to move more towards the average person and away from the pros.
Oh, I wish.
Because there's how many pros do we have and how many average people do we have? You mean this massively skewed statistic?
Francis and I talk about this a lot. It's something that Emily and myself have been very passionate about since even like prior to starting Attacus. And it's actually just thinking about, so we used to always do it with designing Attacus stuff, was normal people are going to be wearing this kit, not professional cyclists or like super skinny, uber lean, hardcore, whatever you want to call them. So make it appropriate for that, you know? And that was what we always focused on. And it's little things for me, like bike geometry. So much bike geometry is made for trickle down from pro cycling geometry. And that isn't how normal people should be riding bikes.
I get what you're saying, but at the same time, no, I think too much emphasis has been put on that. As long as the bike fits, it fits. It's more of a...
Yeah, but a lot of them don't fit, but people are forcing them to fit.
Yeah, but that's not that they're forced. They're trying to get the look.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So they're trying to look like the pros on the bike, and it's like that's where the problem comes.
We go in quite hard, or we definitely did at the beginning of this series of podcasts about how, you know, bike weight doesn't matter and racing isn't that important, blah blah blah. And it's not trying to diminish the fact that some people like to go fast and some people like to race. It's just an acknowledgement that the whole industry seems really geared towards the racing, the fast, the pros more than anything else, isn't it? It just seems so skewed in some ways.
One of the comments on our most recent video, which is the climbing versus aero bike, was referring to the difference in wattage between the two bikes, which was something like 2 or 3 watts. It was a really small amount. And someone commented, that's the difference between first and second place. And my absolute first thought on that was, how many people are caring about first and second place? They might think that it's something that's important, but 99.99% of cyclists are not.
I mean, it's
racing.
fine if you care. If you care about that, then you care.
No, but it's not about care. But the problem is that it starts giving people unrealistic
expectation.
Expectation for what they're buying, and then they buy the wrong bikes because of it. We did a test a while back, about 4 years ago now. I had a Look 795, a super record, and bore 60mm wheels on it. And I commuted in every single day for 2 weeks on it. And then I rode my Kinesis alloy gravel bike with 38mm tires on every day of the same route. And over the 4 weeks test, the Kinesis was only 3 minutes slower. It was way more comfortable and enjoyable. It's like trying to explain to people that it's 3 minutes that you are buying a £10,000 bike versus a £1,500 bike.
Yeah. Most people who cycle bikes are not racing, and even fewer proportion of those are coming first.
Gravel's a very good example of this, because bizarrely, I might be wrong, but I just feel that the gravel industry has not been made developed catering for the pro. They did it at the beginning, and then they realized quickly, we need much bigger tire clearance, because originally Ridley and a few guys came out with 40mm max tire clearance and things like that. Now all of a sudden, just make it for everybody else. Still, obviously cater to the people racing, but it's just look after the rest of the people a little bit more. Make it more balanced.
So something I hope to see is I would love to see better road user education and better infrastructure. That isn't, when I say infrastructure, I'm not just talking about better cycle lanes. I do believe that cyclists should be able to integrate or use roads as well as pedestrians, as well as runners, as well as horse riders, whoever. I think roads need to be adjusted in how people think of them. Currently, it's a road is for a car, whereas that isn't the case, especially where Emily and myself now live. We live in the lanes, and there aren't what are they called? Pavements, sidewalks, whatever you want to call them. There is literally a road with a hedge next to it, and I run on them, I walk on them, I cycle on them, I drive a car on them, and when I run on them, I get nervous because I have to jump off of the road every now and again. When I cycle on them, nearly always, it's very pleasant, but you always just have a moment where it's like, I wish that car had just slowed down a bit. You didn't need to go past me at 60 miles an hour.
It's a lack of understanding. That's why I say education is important. I feel cycle lanes are great, but they spend millions on making some of these cycle lanes. And you think if you took one cycle lane's millions of pounds and didn't spend it on that, and you did a national, this is more for the UK, but a national advertising campaign explaining just basic facts to people. Firstly, nobody pays road tax. It's vehicle excise duty. So it's not a thing of taxing a bike or a car is different. Second thing is cyclists are allowed to ride to a race. It's encouraged in the highway code. Educate people of this so that the fight, because it's road rage becomes an issue because people see two cyclists riding next to each other and then they get all upset about it and then do stupid things. And then lastly, the minimum passing distance of 1.5 meters. And just explain to people a bit, like give examples where if you're behind a tractor or a horse, you're just going to wait as a car. It's the same with the bike.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, the fact that a vehicle is a weapon. It's a dangerous thing. If you hit somebody with a car, I mean, it's you wouldn't hit somebody with a baseball bat. Why would you hit them with a car? So spend the money on an advertising campaign. Do it for a year and see how that
sounds like
things.
do you remember the old piracy is a crime thing that would come up at the beginning of videos? Like you wouldn't steal a handbag. You wouldn't steal a mobile phone.
Do that for a while. Yeah.
Well, it's a big cultural change, so you'd have to do it for 20 years, unfortunately. But you've got to start something somewhere. So what else do you want to see?
More standardized e-bikes. Motors and batteries and everything keeps changing every year. It's like mobile phones at the moment. The technology is moving forward, which is good, but just try and make it move forward and still make so the old ones still work and are more compatible with each other. So batteries can work on several different motors, several different bikes, not a thing of,
I've got one more I want to add. I would like to see more non-traditional cycling brands that preferably have lots of money getting into the cycling space. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I want more competition, and I want competition from outside of cycling so that it forces the traditional brands that do stuff in the ways that they're doing it to have to rethink to be competitive. A great example of that is Decathlon. I am super excited to see where they go over the next 12 months because I think they're going to disrupt so hard, and I'm very excited for it. But I want more. I don't just want Decathlon to come in and take over and be like, we're now the thing. I want more and more. I want more competition. And I think what that will force is better value at the low end, which is something I'm massively, massively passionate about.